This is your lesson on ordering rational numbers. If you are given a set of numbers, they all look different. Some are percent, some are fractions, some are decimals, some are negative, some are positive. You will be expected to order them, whether in order from least to greatest or greatest to least, depending on the instructions. Sometimes you may even be asked just to find the greatest one of them all, or just the least of them all. No matter what you are asked, you are going to follow the same process. First, you'd have to change them all to decimals. We choose decimals because if you had a percent and you decided to change everything to fractions, you'd have to change the percent to a decimal anyway. If you decided you were going to change them to percents and you had a fraction, you'd have to change the fraction to a decimal anyway. So let's just save yourself some trouble and just change them all to decimals. Our first number, -5 345 thousandths, is already a decimal. So we go to 73%. When you're changing your percents to decimals, remember your dock to pepper. P to D, you go left. So we're going to move the decimal to the left 2 spaces. If you do not see a decimal, it is located at the end of the numbers, just like a period is in a sentence, the far right. Once it's moved, we have our decimal. 73% is 7,300. Our next number is a fraction. We will need to change that to a decimal. Remember, there are 3 ways to change fractions to decimals. The first, have it memorized, which we don't for 4/9. The second is to change the bottom number to 10, 100, or 1,000. 9 does not go to 10 very easily, so instead we will use the third way and divide. I have set up my division problem on a separate sheet of paper. Notice that the 4 is inside. That is because it's the numerator, or the top number. The numerator will always go inside. The denominator, the bottom number, will go outside. 9 does not go into 4, so we added a decimal and a 0. We did not change our number on the inside. 4 and 0/10 is still 4. Next, we move the decimal out of the house, straight up to the top. 9 goes into 40 4 times, so we put our 4 above our 0. You need to put the number above the last digit of the number you divided. We did not divide into 4, so we don't put the answer over the 4. We divided into 40. The 4 will go over the 0 since we divided into 40. After you divide, you multiply. Your quotient times your divisor. 4 times 9 is 36. We put it underneath the 40. After you multiply, you subtract. 40 minus 36 is 4. After you subtract, you'll have to bring down another 0. After you bring down, you divide again. 9 into 40 is 4. Multiply 9 times 4, you get 36. Subtract 40 minus 36, you get 4. After you subtract, you'll bring down another 0. Then you divide again. 9 into 40 is 4. Once we have at least 3 place values out to the thousandth place, you can stop dividing. It's obvious that the 4 is repeating, so you need to put the sign above the 4 that it's repeating. That's indicated with a line. So 4/9 is equal to 4/10 repeating, or you could even say 444 thousandths repeating. It doesn't matter, that it's still the same number. -473 thousandths is already a decimal. So is 12. Just because you can't see the decimal does not mean it's not there. It is at the end. Now that we've changed them all to decimals, we can start ordering them. You need to start with the smallest number in the number system. Those are the negatives. So I circle my negatives. I have 2 of them. Anytime we talk about negatives in class, I try to make you think of it like owing money. When you owe somebody money, you have less than $0 because you owe them money before you'll ever put money in your pocket first. So think of it that way. The top number, that person owes $5 and about 35 cents. The next one, that person owes 47 cents. Whoever owes more money has the least in their pocket. So our least number would be -5 and 345 hundredths. we write that on our paper. The next number we write is our other negative, negative 473,000. Now that we have ordered our negatives, we can go to the next smallest number in the number system, any numbers that are less than 1. I've circled them. I know what they are because they are numbers that have nothing in the whole number space. Whole numbers are on the left side of the decimal. So if it has a 0 or nothing on the left side of the decimal, you know it's less than 1. We can order these. They are positive, so it's going to be very easy. Think of it as money. This time you don't owe it, you have it. If you have 44 cents, do you have less or more than if you had 73 cents? Well, the least would be the 44 cents. Make sure you write the number they wrote first, not your work. So we're going to write 4/9 as our next number. We go back to our list, compare the rest of the numbers less than 1. There's only one of them. We write that down, 73%. Now we are able to compare the numbers greater than 1. In this list, there's only one of them, so we can go ahead and write that. As long as you follow these steps, your answers will be infallible. Make sure you pay attention to whether or not you have to order least to greatest or greatest to least. That way you don't end up getting it backwards and getting it wrong. That concludes this lesson.